Nothing said on the Hivemind is a recommendation to buy or sell securities or tokens. This podcast is strictly for informational purposes only, and any views expressed by anyone on the show are solely our own opinions, not financial advice.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Hivemind podcast. The goal of the podcast is to provide an inside look into what we like to call the Delphi Hivemind, bringing together some of our brightest minds from each of the divisions to share insights, alpha, and shitposts. Today with us, we have the usual cast: Ceteris Paribus from Research, Jan Lieberman from Delphi Ventures, and Ventures Scout Duncan, also known as Flood Capital, who Ceteris described as a guy who used to work here and now kind of just chills Galaxy. I lead Delphi Labs, our protocol R&D arm focused on incubating and accelerating new Web3 primitives. So it's been a pretty busy 2-week period, actually, compared to the norm. We had our Delphi offsite, and as is customary, the market dumped horribly during it, and then proceeded to recover as soon as we got home. Maybe we can start with markets, just going around the horn, how everyone's feeling about stuff right now, how everyone's position. Maybe starting with you, Jan. You mentioned you were pretty long heading into year end last time. I'm guessing you're still pretty long, if not longer than you were last time. And yeah, curious how you're feeling here.
Yeah, no, I took off some perps going into it just because it would be too much of a mental burden. But I've kind of redeployed since. Yeah, I'm pretty long. I think macro wise, the setup is really strong, right? Going into year end, and I think the biggest concerns are basically that crypto hasn't been following, and I think the bulls see this as there being somewhat of a lag and a catch-up trade opportunity, particularly with kind of how gold's doing. And then the bears are saying, cycle's kind of over if we're seeing the bid elsewhere and no real follow through here. I think this is probably one of the more divided markets we've had, where you see a lot of big names being openly bearish. And, to some degree, there's kind of survivorship bias, right? Where these are the people that have survived multiple cycles, and you do that by selling potentially too early, right? But you still survive, and so you kind of see those guys continue to be voices in the space, and naturally, it's the mega bulls who, on one hand, tend to do well, but also are most likely to kind of blow up and leave the space. So I'm in the bull camp. I think macro wise, it's still really good. I think earnings are going to be coming up, and things should continue to be strong. You've had 2 years of really strong S&P performance, right? And eventually the music kind of has to stop. But on the other hand, you have this one outside, this kind of, just the AI and the CapEx spend and the growth and everything there. And so I think it's hard to be bearish. I think it's easy to be bearish if you just look at, if you zoom out and purely just look at consecutive strong years and how many you typically have, and then what happens after you've had a few of them. But I think there's a good argument to be made for this time. It's different. I mean, I think the market will certainly have its pullbacks. There will be some point of contention, whether it's geopolitical or midterms not going too far in the Republican direction, and so there are always reasons for there to be sell-offs. But I think that the setup is pretty strong. I think the other element is you've had the BTC run, the ETH run. I don't think we've had the SOL run yet because we still have the ETFs coming. So I do think there's going to be something there. But no, I mean I'm pretty long, just your standard BTC SOL hype pump bag, which you have that like Buzz Lightyear meme of everyone saying the same thing. But at the same time, I do think you're certainly going to have these runners, and you just kind of have to be there and ready to take a risk. I don't think it's easy to catch those because they happen to play out, right? Like your Asters and others, and so you kind of have to be at your desk and ready to fire. But I think generally those names are more comfortable holds, and I think those are the ones that funds that get fresh committed capital are the names that they can definitively deploy into.
It feels like it's basically impossible for the market to go down when the capex spend is this high. Like, how are we supposed to have a recession when it's like we're doing the largest infrastructure build out ever, and it's like the government's backing it? It's literally an arms race for AI. So I just feel like, how are we supposed to have a recession during that? I feel like I'm like insanely bullish over the next 4 years, but like obviously there's gonna be pockets of like bad pullbacks. But
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the calls for like AI bubble are pretty mid, honestly.
Well, no, it'll happen. It's just too early.
No, I think bubbles inevitably happen. Like expectations can always get ahead of fundamentals, but the
I think
fundamentals are
I think
just
it's
so
actually
strong. Like no,
underhyped right now. I think AI is actually underhyped. AI and robotics, when you combine those two things, are underhyped.
yeah,
But
I don't know about that.
you can have we might not get a recession for a while, but you can see unemployment tick up a
Oh
lot.
my god, Zetters, who cares? It's straight up into the right. I'm like, the next 4 years, I think as long as there's not a war, we're gonna be really buzzing. The one thing on like crypto specific stuff is these SOL DATs have been a fucking flop, unfortunately. They're trading like zero volume. So they need to go get those up. And there's also been like an insane leverage buildup into them. So I'm kind of worried about ETH and SOL just because there's so much leverage in the system. But at
What
the same
leverage
time,
is with the debts?
not with the DATs, with like just open interest is like on perps is like mooned for both ETH and SOL. And I think with SOL it was like front running the DATs, and now the DATs are doing no volume. Like last week, Ford was trading like $10 million a day. It's just like fuck. So that's the one kind of tactical thing I'm a little bit concerned about. And then also like BMNR's premium's getting pretty low, but they're trading in like BMNR is doing like 2 billion in volume a day, and like Ford and Helios were doing like 10 million each, which is like really sad. But hopefully that they'll be able to generate some more volume. But that's what I'm kind of like a little bit skeptical on in the short term on ETH and SOL, versus you have like everything else ripping, and like Bitcoin probably catches up. So it's like two kind of forces. If Bitcoin pukes, like I think there's like the chance of like a massive liquidation on ETH and SOL just because of this leverage buildup from front running.
I mean, we had like the biggest liquidation in quite some time.
No, but the
just
candle
recently.
is like this big.
Well, that's the crazy part is how much leverage there's built up in such a tight
Well, that's what I
price band.
mean. Like, man, if we roll, like ETH and SOL are literally gonna get
sorry,
nuked.
Why are they trading so little volume? Because as far as I can tell, the MNAVs are still way are still like 1.5 and above.
Yeah, but
That's
they're
probably
trading
why
for,
they're
like,
not trading a lot of volume.
Probably
Is
they haven't
because
distributed shares yet or something.
Yeah, they haven't. They haven't. But like, guys, listen, I
Those
want
are kind of fake prices, though. Isn't it just on the pre-pipe circulating supply?
No,
I want Ford to do as well as anyone else because Galaxy's a big part of it. But they traded yesterday 400,000 shares at $25 a share. Like, what is that? God, let me do some quick math on that. Is that $10 million? 400,000
it says
shares.
1.65 on the Blockworks.
They
on the
traded
Blockworks
$10
dashboard.
million yesterday and filed a $4 billion ATM. Like, anyways, yeah. So the pipe shares need to get unlocked, and they need to get options markets there. And Mr. Multicoin has to go out there. Really, like he's doing it, but he really needs to generate some more volume for SOL to kind of carry through. But like that is actually like such a flop. Like BMNR is traded 2 days ago. It traded 60 million shares at $50 a share. So is that $3 billion? Like, anyways,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fine.
That's my concern.
Honestly.
yeah, I think it's fine. It's just shares. There's not
Yeah,
just more trading right now.
Okay.
Like BMNR trades at like 1, so it makes more sense that it has
It
like
trades
the
at
more traded
1.3.
shares.
Yeah. Okay. But Cedrus, the order of magnitude, it's a 3,000x difference.
I mean, I wouldn't fade.
Yeah, but it's the market cap. That's what I'm saying. Those shares aren't liquid. The market cap is 50 million. None of like this is still pre-pipe stuff. So it's not like the supply isn't there yet. So they haven't. Once that's live is when they can start doing ATM stuff.
They already filed it.
I'm not seeing
yeah,
it,
but
man.
filing is a
I'm seeing
filing.
the market cap at 2.1 bill on
You're
Ford.
probably looking at SOL owned. The amount of Solana it owns.
Let me.
No, that's 1.26.
I
Like
see it as they have 1.7 million outstanding shares.
Let's ask chat.
Are you looking at Ford as in?
But yeah, what about you, Cedrus? Maybe you didn't say how bullish or bearish you are.
I don't know. I just feel like we've been in the
You're
same
always
market.
bullish.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm always long.
Never have any stables.
I'm always
Yeah.
long, but there's definitely periods where I think there's like way higher risk of everything going to shit. I haven't really felt like this period was like that. We've just been in this like grind, chop up sort of deal. And I think it's just mentally exhausting for a lot of people.
Oh no, going up too high.
Well, it's I don't know. It's the same market has been forever, right? I feel like a broken record, but the market's literally been the same for the past like half year, where you just have a few things going up. But I mean, equities still look good, and I am of the belief that you don't get a big crypto bear market until you get a big equity bear market. So
Yeah, the weakness is definitely slightly concerning. Like with gold roaring and equities pumping it's kind of weird. But yeah, for me, I think pump right now is still the best risk return out there, just in terms of the upside I see. And then yeah, the usual candidates that Jan mentioned is the rest of my portfolio, but I'm pretty
Have you bought
overweight
any
pump.
yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh damn.
I haven't bought any Galaxy. What about you? What about the rest of you guys? You bought Galaxy yet? Jan, Cedrus?
I've had Galaxy for a while, yeah, but I don't like think
Okay.
about it because it's like it's just a stock I'm going to hold for a while.
Exactly. It's a stock you hold
And
forever.
whatever. It's
I
like
equate it
boring.
to like the new Berkshire Hathaway of the AI and crypto age. That's kind of what
Yeah, I don't believe that,
Decade
but
long hold.
it's got some good.
I've heard that one a few times, and it was never bullish. The Berkshire Hathaway comparisons, for what
That's
it's worth.
never bullish.
The first time I heard it was DX DAO. Was
Oh.
the Berkshire
I
Hathaway
don't know
crypto.
what the hell that is.
Yeah. All right. And then one thing came out last week that I thought was interesting was just Tether raising it $500 billion. Like puts it up there as one of the most valuable, I think maybe the most valuable private company on
Does
earth.
that make like Paolo the richest guy in the world now? Like, or one of them?
I don't think so.
It's
I
up
mean,
there for sure. He's up there.
I just who is buying this
I
at
don't understand the
500 bill.
Yeah, dude, I don't get it. At like what is it? $1.75, like 175 mil in USDT, right? You're earning like that's between 5 to 10 billion in interest rate yield. So like that's only going to decline. And what kind of multiple are you slapping on that to rationalize? Like it's just I don't get it. I don't get how you see
It
like,
just
big return
it
here.
assumes that Tether is always going to be able to like keep all the interest.
Yeah, but like that interest is going to come down. They're all front end of the curve.
Yeah.
I don't really understand they need to be liquid.
I think first of all, interest is going to come down. Second of all, I do think Tether has continuously managed to not pay out any interest and still keep growing, which is insane. They're like the only stablecoin that can do this right now. But I think with USDH and just the shift I'm seeing behind the scenes with like this stablecoin as a service, these white label stablecoins that every chain is kind of issuing, I think the meta is going to change where you just expect to get like the yield of the stablecoin you're using. And I think most chains and projects that have a bunch of stablecoins will try and internalize this. And I think that's going to be a hard trend to fight. Still on centralized exchanges, that's like I think they
but that's where
dominate
their
there.
market is. Tether doesn't do much on DEXs, so like I maybe eventually if DEX market share really chips away, but in a glass half full scenario, they don't have to deal with that. Interest rates will come down, and how do you rationalize paying 100 times earnings on something like that? Revenue.
I mean, I think it's going to keep growing. I'm very bullish on like Tether continuing to grow, but yeah,
for sure.
I agree on that. I also think even on the centralized exchange, like you're seeing like just even the USD integration on Binance, like I think it's up to nearly $3 billion in USD on Binance since then, and it's probably gonna
Wait,
I just think
what is?
USDE got integrated as collateral yield earning.
Is that 3 billion on Binance? But so isn't Binance doing their version of it? What's it called? Aren't they
That
asked?
failed.
Oh, it failed.
Yeah. I mean, that was a really interesting experiment because I think it never got above like 2 bill
I
market
thought there
cap,
was a
which
new one like USDH or something.
That's Hyperliquid.
that's Hyperliquid.
No. Okay, well I'm saying the wrong one. It's Aster's doing it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Aster doesn't have their own stable though. That's just the Perp DEX.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're doing something like an Athena thingy. Well, let me find
Yeah, I
it.
don't know.
I think it's like part of their market making system too to bring liquidity.
I'm gonna check quickly.
But yeah, I do think like you'd expect people to over time, especially as the yields, like you'd expect people over time to just like not accept stablecoin issuers internalizing the yield and for this to not stay like a massively high margin thing. But yeah,
Hopefully they
I don't
just
know.
use it to buy Bitcoin, which
Yeah,
I doubt they're gonna do that.
USDF has 365 million minted, and you get a 15%.
Maybe a better question is, if you were them, what would you do with the 20 billion?
I think that the reason why they want to raise, honestly, is just to get a bunch of U.S. investors that are like important and kind of just
Cash out and bro down.
kind of just like help like cement them in the like they want. I think they have. I mean, maybe not anymore because I mean, Trump literally invited him and gave him like kudos or whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised if the tethered 20 bill gets filled by like important people
Yeah,
like systemically in the US, and this is kind of
U.S. Treasury.
and more like a political thing to cement Tether further. Because
like,
it's true, like they don't
you do it the other way around, right? It's the private investor that would support a U.S. politician's business at an irrational value to cement the legacy, not a U.S. politician investing at a.
I mean the valuation, I don't know. Are they even gonna fill that? That's the thing. They
I'm
can
sure
say
like SoftBank will come in and.
True. Maybe Kathy and SoftBank. Actually, I think I saw Kathy and SoftBank were interested, right?
I don't know what they'd use 20 bill for though, to answer your question. It's
Data
like
centers. I think
it seems tough to
I mean, if you
buy
can
some
get it, I
sports
guess you just
teams.
get it and just start buying more BTC and
Either BTC or you should like a holding company of assets.
Okay, this USDF has grown from 36 million 3 weeks ago to 360 million on Aster, 15%.
Peanuts.
Hey guys, I'm just saying.
Do you know what this is? Like, have you looked into it at all? Or you just bringing
Athena
it
on
up?
Aster. Yeah.
But is it on Aster or are they doing it all on Binance and then it's just they're trading it on, like how does it work?
I don't know exactly how it works, but it's growing quick. It's like the it's the Aster. It's the Aster.
True, it is the Athena. Yeah, see your screenshot. It is the Athena thing.
Wait, I'm my mind's.
I just don't think any Athena on an isolated venue is ever going to be particularly interesting. Like you're never going to be able to match the yield at scale. Even Binance wasn't able to do this with their own stablecoin. Like even Binance wasn't able to do this, like the biggest exchange, with their own perps stablecoin, just because they can't compete with the yield across all the different exchanges at scale.
Yeah, I mean the counter is basically what if the demand to go long is highest in Binance and it is then the largest source of funding rate and is actually bringing the weighted average higher than lower.
But Athena would arb that. Athena would over allocate to Binance and arb that like.
In theory, it should get arbed flat evenly. I think it can work. It just doesn't scale to a large enough number, right? Like functionally, it'd be the same because you'd assume that they would arb it across exchanges. It's more just the denominator can't get that big.
Wow, the Bitcoin chart looks really good right now. I just looked at it for the first time today.
Yeah, I mean, crypto's rebounded pretty well here. I don't know, that weakness could have just been somewhat of like an isolated flush there.
It could have been like quarter end stuff.
Yeah, it could have been that too. Like we started October 1st and we've been up only
We
today.
started October.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Plasma 10 bill?
It seems pricey.
People are either, I think, and it like this is actually probably the right way to take it. You either become very giga bullish on it and you think it's going to get some Ripple XRP type valuation that makes no sense, but it's got the tether ties and it's super memeable or anything, or you just think it's like crazy overvalued. And I that's kind of the two buckets, and I think it makes sense. Like on a fundamental basis, it's a crazy valuation to me.
100%.
But like we'll see how they execute and everything, and if they're able to. I don't know. I've listened to like other podcasts, and people are just very bullish on plasma.
I don't have enough conviction either way to have a position. But like I don't want to get blown out on a short, and I think there's easier stuff to short, and I just don't have the conviction to long it at this val.
Yeah, that's
Sitting that
exactly
one
how I
out.
feel. It's a pure sit out.
What even happened? Like, didn't it nuke a bunch and like the whole crypto Twitter was freaking out?
No, it's like, I mean, it went up to 1.7 almost, so like 17 bill, and it's back to $1, 10 bill, pretty much where ICO price opened at. So it's just CT, talking about 3-day price action.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, the tether thing. I heard, I don't know if this is confirmed, but Paolo put in a 50K ticket, and that's like the tether connection.
Wait,
and
what?
if
Are you talking about
that's the
plasma?
case,
Surely not that little. I saw that too.
I've seen it. I'm curious to confirm if that's true or not. I assume it's not. I assume Tether also invested separately, but if so, it's pretty funny because they've also invested in a bunch of other stable chains, right? Like, I don't know. Obviously, Tron has product market fit for this, and like the bar is not high, but they also have just inertia from just being there first and being integrated into a bunch of OTC. Like,
Yeah, it'll
desks
be
in
interesting to
Turkey
see
and
what stable launches at, because it's kind of the same thing, right?
I mean, I passed on plasma, like the seed or whatever it was. It was like 100 mil or something. So I'm probably salty, but I don't really see the point of a stablecoin chain. Still, I don't really see why we need a dedicated stablecoin chain. But by all accounts, the team's like really good and is building some really cool stuff. But like with Tempo, and I think like every chain is gonna want to be a stablecoin chain. There's like stable, Tempo, like Converge, obviously Plasma. I don't know. I don't think the market's big enough to sustain like a bunch of $10+
No,
billion
definitely not. Also
chains on
because
this.
stable coins are just I've always thought stable coins were like something you need to make your chain be able to handle, but you were never going to make money on it, right? Because they're just not like most of the money in blockchains come from ordering transactions, right? And stablecoin payments have no ordering that's like needed. But you still want it because that keeps people on your chain and in your ecosystem and everything. So it's very important for that. It's like this thing you need to have, but it doesn't really create economics for you. I still kind of think that, but we'll see. We'll see how like the DeFi ecosystem evolves there and everything. I think that I think like USD AI is doing something there, which people are bullish on that one. And so they do have like good projects, I think.
Just good
that are gonna
stable
be-
farms.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like I'm farming there too. It's a good stablecoin farm, but like that's been the death of many chains, right? Like the farmers are pretty brutal with their rotation games.
Yeah, especially stable farmers, right? Because you're like literally you're at least people farming in like other assets. Sometimes you can like make them hold, but
Yeah.
stablecoin farmers are just pure like dumping.
Yeah, I mean, Tron generated like 2 bill, I think, in fees in 2024.
Tron's such a weird outlier because they still make $1.02 per transaction, which makes no sense for like stable coins, right? It's like, oh, we're
exactly.
banking the all the little shops in like Thailand and everything, and what people are paying like $1.02 just on the Tron fee for these. Like, aren't you buying like 50-cent purchases, right? So
Yeah,
I don't know. There's definitely a market for it.
Yeah, I think XPL also did a public sale, and it seems like those are kind of coming. Like they've been coming back for a while, but it seems like now they're definitively back. I think everyone's up on the XPL one. Legion did yield basis recently, which was like 200 million oversubscribed for 2 million ticket. There's been obviously like Flying Tulip released their raise mechanics, and they're also confirmed to be doing a public sale.
Yeah, do
soon.
you want to go into
And
that
there's-
one? Because that one is different, right? It's they raised 200 mil out of one bill, but it's like this weird mechanism where the 200 mil is going straight to farming, and then as an investor, you can like get back your tokens, your investment at any time, right?
At entry cost. Yeah, it's like a put basically. So it puts in a floor for price. So basically, the team uses the funds operations through the yield earned by the raised funds. The raised funds sit in a reserve and function as a put, allowing any investors the ability to redeem just principal at initial cost.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Good. Who thought of that one?
the king of yield
Andre.
farms. Yeah,
Yeah, Andre.
But it's been done before, like from ICO days. I remember projects doing
Wait,
this kind
you
of
can
stuff.
get like 10 million. Wait, how much they raised? 200. So you can get like
Yeah.
10 million a year.
probably more. I mean, I feel like.
Well, I guess yeah, it depends how aggressively. But
No,
just
I
like-
mean they can definitely. I think 10% is attainable if you're savvy enough and have someone who's able to kind of rotate and do it quickly. Obviously, 200 million is a lot of size, so you start to get some serious yield decay. But if you kind of scatter it across a lot of areas, you probably get 10%.
that's pretty epic.
Yeah, it's an interesting mechanism. I wonder if more projects will do it. Yeah, what do you think of it, Jan? Curious.
I mean, then the psychological element of putting in a floor on price is huge, right? Then it's just like rather than being an anchor, it's like a spring away.
Imagine Plump did that with their $1 billion.
Yeah.
But that means that you can't touch the 200 mil like ever, or does the put expire after a certain amount of time, or what?
That part I don't know. We can check, but
Be cool if it was like a 5-year put or something, like 2 years or something. There's like a time.
yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense. And then part like you could eventually raise at a higher val too, right? And those that would be a more standard approach, and that way you can raise at 2, knowing that price will likely not fall below 1. I mean, it always can, right? Because you can have perps and other market participants just sell the token down beyond that. So it's not like a surefire way. The impact of it decays over time as more of the supply gets out there.
Yeah. Okay, because it's only for the raised money.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. That's really cool though. I like that. Getting creative.
Looks like it's perpetual.
Oh, okay. Interesting. But I guess yeah, they could raise more money without that later on or something. Without that, like from a different tranche of investors.
Yeah, I mean all this, and then like related to this, DoubleZero also got a no action letter from the SEC, which
What does
is
that mean?
kind of wild to see.
What's the action mean?
It means they won't
It means-
be pursued or anything.
Yeah,
Were they getting pursued previously? I have no idea what was this whole situation.
no, it means they can basically launch their token without the fear of later being pursued for securities violations.
Did they ask for that, or like they
Yeah.
applied for it? And
Yeah, I
what is
believe they went to the
DoubleZero?
SEC. It's yeah, maybe Cedrus, actually you're probably the best to explain this. Kind of trying to build a new internet.
DoubleZero?
yeah.
Yeah, so DoubleZero essentially, if you think about like so you think
In
about the way,
English, please.
yeah.
I'm just joking.
So
I was just
okay,
Just
so
prep-
the way blockchains work today, right, is you have all these validators around the world, and when they come to like agreement on transactions, they need to communicate with each other, right? So you have validators in like Tokyo, you have validators in Amsterdam and in Chicago, and there's like latency with sending messages across the world, right? And the way standard internet works is when you send a ping from like Chicago to Tokyo, the path it takes to get to Tokyo is kind of random all the time. So it could go like even backwards a bit. It could go like from Chicago, it could go to like New York, and then it could go over to Tokyo or something, right? Or it could go to Amsterdam and then to Tokyo. What DoubleZero does is you have all these HFT firms that built all these wires like underground
Yeah.
for trading, right? A lot of their fiber is like dark, okay, which means that like it's not utilized a lot of the time. And so what DoubleZero does is essentially it gets all these validators to want to join the DoubleZero network, and then DoubleZero kind of like negotiates to use this fiber on behalf of like all the validators in the network. And so now when you want to go from Chicago to Tokyo, you get a direct line and it speeds it up a
Wait,
lot,
they
right?
lay that across the ocean?
Yes, across the ocean. So
Wow. It's like floating? Or you bottom?
It's already there.
yeah, it's already there. That's the thing. Like all of this
Yeah.
is already
Yeah,
there and
yeah.
it's not really used. It's dark and they want to light it up essentially, right? And so it's like DPIN in the sense where it's this like, and that's what Hester Pierce, I think she had a comment in here talking about how like DPIN, she specifically mentioned DPIN, so it seems pretty bullish for DPIN projects in general. But yeah, they're already live. Like I think more than 10% of Solana Stake runs DoubleZero. Their token goes live tomorrow.
Wait. It's so what's that? That was an excellent explanation, by the way. Thank you. Sorry for trolling you. What what is the actual use case of it though? Just to
It
make
makes it faster. Like it
faster?
makes
But for
consensus. The
what? For
whole
like Solana or trading or what?
any network who wants to run it. So any high throughput network, it's not going to be of much use to something like Ethereum with 12-second block times. Well, I mean, it'll be of some use, but like you still have these 12-second block times, right? And it's not going to be helpful for like I don't know if it would be helpful for L2s because there's no consensus. Maybe it would be helpful with
That's
in
super
like
cool.
another way, but it essentially it's like this whole increased bandwidth, reduced latency thing, right?
That's
This
awesome.
meme.
We're actually doing things with crypto now. That's what like
Yeah.
cool. It's
And
like
so
we can
DoubleZero, yeah, so
actually do it.
DoubleZero is like not even this like crypto thing per se. Like it is, but it's not. Like you could
Yeah.
use it for other like not even blockchains.
And is the token to just like get people on the network or something?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the token is going to be. I'm not entirely sure of like the economic model for DoubleZero. I haven't I should
Yeah,
probably
I think
look into it.
it's a typical L1 token. So the token is used. We're investors, by the way, full disclosure. But the token is used to pay validators and also pay for resource provisioning on the network. So and then also there's gonna be some burn that happens there too.
It's its own layer one along with like providing support for Solana.
It's not really a layer one.
It's not really a layer one, yeah.
It's like this coordination. Is there even a block? Isn't it like a NOMA in the sense that there's not like a blockchain? It's like this other layer that it is. Like, is the DoubleZero tokens probably going to launch on Solana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so who else would use them other than Solana?
Like a Sui could use them. Monad could use them. Any like performant chain with consensus.
Yeah, I don't think it has a ledger or or consensus. I think it's literally just like a networking layer that anyone can use. So validators can opt into it, and then they're using DoubleZero to send data between them rather than rather than the traditional.
It's a
networking
cool
stack.
project because like Solana, for instance, they can make the validator client better. They can do all these optimizations. But at the end of the day, especially if you don't want to co-locate validators, like have all the validators in Amsterdam or something, there's like only so
Would
much
Hyperliquid
Solana.
use them?
If they wanted to like decentralize, maybe, but I don't know if they care about that.
Yeah, so like that's a good question. How do you know how long it takes to go from like one side of the world to the other with this? Like how much does it affect latency?
I forget off the top of my head. There was a good presentation actually from ECC on this. It wasn't about DoubleZero, but it's with like some Google. It was Fire. It was Flashbots and a guy from Google, and he had a really good. It's like it changes it. It can change it from like over 100 milliseconds to it can like cut it in half, right? Um,
And is that just capped by like the speed of light going through the fiber cables?
yeah, yeah. I think 150 milliseconds is like fastest you can get. I think
Is
that's
there
the
any way
number.
to get faster than that, or is that
I don't. I think that's like the
that's a
limit.
physics issue?
Yeah.
We need the alien tech for that, so we can get zero latency trading.
Yeah. What did you guys do with this tech? Well,
Zero latency. My HFT firm made
Yeah.
8 million.
yeah, top of book. Just got a lot better.
Yeah. But no, DoubleZero is really cool. It's one of those like everybody's bored of infra, right? And everybody's like, oh, we have too much infra, all this stuff. I've always kind of thought that we have too much of the wrong infra, but we actually don't have enough of the right infra.
But like,
And DoubleZero is one of those projects that I think is, getting more
yeah,
of the right
it's
infra.
unique. So like these trading firms historically just like keep this to themselves. Like there's no like way to tap
There's no
into it.
monetization for it for them, yeah. So this is a way for them to kind of like monetize it more.
How much do you think it costs to like lay cable from Japan to New York?
It's a big number. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's like a good build out. And then once you build it out, you have to
And then
maintain it and
is
stuff.
it
but
like at the bottom of the ocean or just kind of like hanging?
no, it's at the bottom of how would it hang, man? There's like
Like
boats and
in the
stuff that go
water, like
by.
no, like low and like kind of. It's not like at the very.
I think it's at the bottom.
Yeah,
the very
yeah.
bottom. Hmm.
yeah.
Imagine like a animal or something just like destroyed it. Like
Well, no, there's like sharks that have like chomped on fiber cables, right? And
well, that's what I
there's like,
mean. That would
yeah,
suck.
yeah. But yeah, that's DoubleZero. I think the other kind of like meta going around is this whole like perp dex meta, right? Do you guys think this will be like a real? I think perp dexes are always been this like thing in crypto that just has great product market fit. And then I think over the last few months, a lot of people started thinking like, okay, it's over now and it's just Hyperliquid. And you have got a lot of things. There's just a lot, right? There's a ton of like perp dexes that are pretty new and coming out. Like, there's even this perp dex that lets you. It's like a pump fund for perp dexes. It's insane. It's called like Orderly or something. You can just like launch your own perp dex. It seems kind of ridiculous. Seems
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's like we've seen this before, right? It's I mean, I think all this stuff is a little bearish for Hyperliquid because the issues before were that you could only really optimize so much, and then at a certain point the DEX has become interchangeable. So if you're a trader, I'm just going to kind of move my existing volume to the next one that still has a token. And so that was kind of the issue for a lot of existing perp dexes, was when your incentives started to kind of slow down, you'd see the mercenary traders or just rational traders who would get the same execution elsewhere just move their trading there. And then Hyperliquid came out and they kind of dominated for a while, but now you're seeing these other ones pop up, and I think it serves as inspiration, for an opportunity for builders to kind of continue that, and you're going to see traders move, from Hyperliquid to Lighter and others, and so it's you kind of we'll see when when the tide washes away, and tide being incentives, who's still left standing and where it makes sense. I think some of these are iterating in cool ways, though.
I think Lighter's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're yeah, exactly. They are cool, and there's certainly innovation, and you kind of have to do some degree of it in order to stand out beyond the incentives. But yeah, it makes sense for some of these dexes or the sexes to do one where you can try and kind of bridge liquidity across the two venues, and ideally kind of improve the experience for sexes by bringing some dex liquidity there and allowing market makers to kind of bridge it. Or and on the dex side, you launch a successful token, and there's obviously monetary benefits to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think dexes are the most, like, in general, perp dexes are, I think, the most profitable product in crypto, and arguably the one of the most product market fit. But it is like very competitive, and the switching costs are very low, right? Like if you compare something like, and we've seen it kind of time and time again, that there's been a perp dex that was really dominating with well over like majority of market share, and then they got unseated by someone new. Because when you just bring fresh incentives, like already everyone's farming Lighter and EdgeX and Astra, I guess, to some extent. And the products, it's kind of hard to differentiate a lot on the product. I don't know, like I missed Hyperliquid initially because I just didn't see that it was that differentiated from like DYDX and things like this to where it would warrant, like a whatever it is, a 40x or whatever valuation premium from them. And I think it's tough to tell like what is the better product in this perp
You
deck
have
space.
to use it.
I did
right?
use it though. That's the thing.
Everyone
I mean-
who faded Hyperliquid is like, have you used it? And they're like, no. Okay, I wrote a thread on this. Can I please share it? Can I please share my screen? I literally this exact topic on why I sold all my hype for Galaxy at $54. The other week.
No.
Oh my! It's literally exactly what we're talking about. I literally put out exactly all the points he said, but with
Yeah,
one
just say it.
better. Okay, so basically the quality of revenues, right? As we said, the switching costs are super high, and then as you have like these competition, like if Hyperliquid's $50 billion, like it kind of has this problem where it's like the higher it goes, like the bigger the prize is to come in and copy it. So like for majors, right? Like you probably just need like a pretty good team and a few $100 million, and you can offer like similar liquidity on kind of like major pairs. And then you can run this massive campaign, right? Where like Aster has whatever billions and billions of dollars in tokens as incentives. So like it's kind of like as you get more successful, it's like a bigger prize pool to come after. And then like a competent team with like a few $100 million and some market making arrangements can come in and try and take a stab at your prize. So that's what we're kind of seeing with like Aster, Lighter, and all these guys. And then why I was sold it for Galaxy is because they have very sticky contractual revenue. So it's like the quality of revenue, right? Like how can you put a really high multiple, even though Hyperliquid's like a 99% margin business? It's like how can you put a really high multiple on that if there's like not any guarantee that it's going to be there in the future because these people can kind of just like suck it away.
Yeah, this is why I still think that Pump, which trades at a way lower multiple than Hyperliquid, does have a path to like actually justifying a way higher multiple. Because if Pump actually breaks into the mainstream and they're successful on like this streaming and like TikTok thing or whatever, I don't think that's as easily disruptable as like a really good perp dex, right?
Yeah.
Because the brand matters way
the social
more,
network, like
and like the social,
100%.
yeah.
Okay, second one is the flows and the absolute size of Hyperliquid. Okay, so like at 50 billion FDV, this thing launched a year ago, right? Like it only TG'd in November. Think how much like UPNL is there from like early buyers and airdroppers still. And it's going to hit long-term capital gains for US people in November, right? So that's another thing. It's just like to get Hyperliquid to like 10x from this price to get up to like 500 billion like ETH's valuation, it just takes like an immense amount of flows. And there's just like a point where people don't even care how cheap it is. They're just up so much like UPNL from like buying early that they will sell no matter what. So like already all like the crypto funds have bought, right? Basically like any crypto fund has bought. It's like you need now like the next leg of buyers, and like maybe the DATs will be able to do that for Hyperliquid, but it's just going to take a long time for the market to digest that. Versus Galaxy at a $12 billion market cap, Novo holds all the float. It's been trading lots of volume.
I agree with you on Pump too. But I think also like within crypto, like stable coins are way less profitable, but they have a way bigger moat. Like it's really hard to create a new stable coin and like get all those integrations, across DeFi, across CeFi, get the trust, get all that compared to a new perp exchange. So yeah, and I agree with like I still hold. I think I haven't really sold much hype. Still hold most of the original position I bought, and I did buy on the initial run up, but bought on the sort of FUD for the when they closed, when the jelly FUD
Went down to like $10.
Yeah, I think I started buying like 14 or 15 and bought the way down. But I still hold most of that. But I agree the upside seems kind of tough to see how high it can go from here.
People are up so much.
It's not as big as people think. Like, I think the SPV is overstated just because of the amount that's sitting in, and we saw that John Charbonneau proposal to reduce supply by 45%. So FDV is like roughly half of what it actually is. But I agree, and I think the unlocks could be worse than people think and destroy some of the sort of aura that the project has.
Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, right now it seems like a better trading tool than like like a longer term hold, considering how soon the unlocks are coming. Like my hype bag is a lot smaller than it's been, and I think next time I'd like to buy is if you get like a really bad flush, or I think around unlock FUD, because I imagine like, yeah, I gotta imagine they'll like sell a piece and then say we're sitting on the rest kind of thing.
Yeah. Or just do like a schedule. Just be like, hey, we're gonna sell $1 million, like, and then it's just planned. The market knows it, can get its head around it.
I don't know. When I think about so when I think about some of the crypto projects that could be in like a future, I talked about this before, but in a future like Mag 50 or whatever, Hype is definitely one of them though. Top 50 like companies in the world.
Okay. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
you
like
the crypto.
not a crypto Mag 50, like a total, like when I think about what crypto projects could make it into the 50 top
Got it.
companies in the world in the future, Hype is one of them. I think like then an L1 and something like a stablecoin play would be the ones I'd
Like
see doing
something
it.
like
So
Lampina, maybe.
exactly, you said it. Not your words, not mine. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like I don't want to sell my entire hype bag, but maybe de-risking
Okay.
a bit. Hip 3 could also be huge. Like, although like the interesting thing with Hip 3 is I feel like the biggest TAM of Hip 3 is traditional markets, and those are harder to execute than just adding the market, right? Because there's like all this stuff you have to do. Like maybe Jan, you can speak to this a bit. Obviously, we had Caladora on. She kind of explained last time a bit of what makes it so tough to offer traditional markets. But it seems like someone like there's enough going on at Hyperliquid that someone will be incentivized to like build basically Ostium on top of Hyperliquid. Obviously, you can. It's like an Oracle based model. But what do you think? Is it going to be possible?
I think Unit's doing it.
Question, I guess, is if you're good enough to do it, is it better to just own the whole pie? Like, do you have?
It's 50% though, right? Like 50%
Yeah.
seems pretty reasonable. It's like, are you going to be 2x more successful launching on Hype and benefiting from that entire user base and stuff? I think probably yes. And especially because most of the people who probably will build it already have giant Hype bags, which
I'm
is
pretty
another
sure,
of the,
pretty sure Unit's doing it.
okay. Do you know
They're
how?
doing spot or
I don't know, but
Perp?
Shoku's tweeted about like what should I add like in stocks and stuff. So I don't know. I'm sure that he's really smart. He'll figure it out. If they can do perps and spot, he'll do it with Hip 3.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty
you basically need someone else market making in a really efficient way on trad markets, and I'll
But
throw
how do you
that
do it
risk.
like when trad markets are closed? Like how do you do it on weekends and after 5 p.m.?
you hit a pause on the market and then you limit leverage.
Yeah, you definitely have to limitations on exposure.
Why can't you just pause the market and then limit leverage, right? Like obviously if you have 100x and then the weekend closes and it gaps, you can't liquidate the person correctly. But if you have like you limit the leverage to like 3x or 2x or something, or depending on how volatile the stock is, then you can like be pretty confident you're not going to get bad
You have
debt.
to limit OI and not just leverage, because
Leverage in OI, yeah, but like
yeah,
you can just do things. Like I feel like you just figure it out.
it's tricky. I
Yeah.
think the market maker or whatever pool they're using to do it just takes on a lot more delta. And then I mean, then it's like obviously the end goal there is you become the oracle of close prices, and then when they open, they converge to you. But that's obviously a ways away. I mean, if they open up 24/7 trading, which I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Yeah, this is where it does feel like the vision is just like so big, and like in 10 years it could be so massive, but it's just like there's going to be so much competition along the way, and it's just like a harder bet with certainty to make because there's just going to be so much competition, especially for this, right? You get into this token at like blockchain, like you think people are just going to like the TradFi is just going to stand aside and let Hyperliquid like be the global trading venue? Maybe, but I think it's like there's going to be a lot of competition.
I think the biggest risk for Hyperliquid is just the like KYC AML stuff. I think that
and just Black Swan from tech being a bit of a
yeah, I just
box.
think that Hyperliquid is probably going to be pressured into. I think there's a lot of lobbying going on, and I think there's a decent chance that Hyperliquid may be forced to like KYC AML.
Yeah.
At some point.
Anyway, actually, we
Can I ask you guys?
actually, do you guys have anything more to say on the Perp DEX stuff?
I have a question about Hyperliquid. Are we holding or selling the Hyper NFT?
I mean, I don't have any, so
Yeah, I
can't
don't have
answer
any.
that.
Well, yeah, I think you're one of the few. You're the only one I know who opted for both. Are you up
what?
or down? Had you just opted for?
There was
tokens
no
versus NFT?
penalty to do that. There was zero penalty to opt for it. That was.
Well, no,
fun.
it was in exchange though. You like sacrificed
No.
some tokens.
No, people were fudding that. It was a.
I thought you had to pick one or the other.
No, you could check both boxes.
I'm gonna go check if I did.
Yeah.
If you just put your address into OpenSea, it'll show you. Okay, how do we feel about mine's pretty rare? So I'm thinking, should I hold it, or if it was a floor, I would probably just nuke it. But given its rarity,
Yeah, but I don't know about the Hyper NFT. That what I wanted to say before in ICOs is hearing sort of rumblings that the SEC
talking about it.
that the SEC is basically bringing back or like trying to figure out a way to bring back ICOs to US non-accredited, which would be pretty huge. There are also obviously this no action letter to DoubleZero is a pretty good sign. Like I don't think they gave a single one of those during the Gensler term, and that could open up a way for projects to actually do like pretty big ICOs and for like on-chain fundraising to become like way bigger than even in the ICO boom, which was already like I think over 10 bill was raised in ICOs. So I think that's pretty exciting.
What's going on with Legion in this? How does this affect Legion? Give us the inside scoop. What's going on?
I mean, Legion is doing well. Like obviously yield basis was a big success. I think it was the most it's ever been sort of deposited on Legion, the 200 million. And it's like insanely oversubscribed. And also like the cool thing about that was we're investors in yield basis, and they didn't do any of the standard like buying Twitter followers and doing KOLs or anything like that. So people weren't talking about them. But now since the Legion sale, they're like all I see on my feed, and like people are doing threads and sharing it and stuff, which is kind of like what you want. You literally just got massive free distribution. You didn't have to do anything other than sell your token to investors at a good price. So I think it's pretty good validation of the way they're doing things. And also even like the merit-based sale, like they're able to decide from 60,000 plus applications to narrow it down to 2,300. People were writing like cover letters showing they really understood the project, like threads that they'd written about it, this kind of thing. So I think it's pretty cool. Definitely validation for the way they're doing things. The Kraken sale was kind of less successful. Like Kraken, which is partnering with Legion, sold out in about a second, and literally the entire website was down. At least for me, it was down. Like I couldn't even log into my Kraken account. So I think it's kind of a good problem, but it was a lot more traffic than they were expecting. Which kind of, and yield basis is definitely like a high profile project. Like it's the ex Curve founder, but there's definitely some projects that have way more hype that will be doing ICO soon. So it's kind of interesting to see how that goes. And obviously Echo has been crushing it too, with Plasma and I'm sure they have some other stuff coming. It'll be interesting to see like how the US rolls out this non-accredited thing, whether they do a pilot with specific people or whether it's like a general. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they roll it out, because I guess there's some worlds where they just work with specific partners on it, and which would be pretty good for those people and pretty bad
This
for
isn't non-accredited, so they're gonna let everyone do it.
I mean, no evidence of this at all. Like rumblings that I'm hearing.
Like you should be
so
able to be, because like the whole thing is like if you're not accredited, then it's like you're too like stupid and poor to make your own decisions.
I'm curious what you guys think of like if they open this up more and you have like tokenized securities and all this stuff, which they've been talking about for a while. I don't know if it's ever gonna happen. Do you think that's like bullish crypto?
Yes. Nova was talking about Hester Pierce saying, like, talking about like bringing everything on chain. He's like, this is so bullish. Like, if we get a market structure bill, like I don't even know how to explain how fucking bullish this is. Like, that's the guy you need to listen to. The guy who's talking to like literally all the TradFi institutions. His calls are so good. Like when he's like, I'm bullish BTC, I'm bearish. He sees like all the flow. He's talking to all the big shooters. Like, it's honestly a lot of alpha, and just like listening to him whenever he goes on TV.
It's
Or
definitely bullish. You don't want just crypto project. You know what I mean? Like you don't want us to you just be trading self-referential tokens.
Yeah, the bearish argument is basically that it cannibalizes demand for crypto, but I think it grows the pie to a much larger degree and just brings more assets on chain, which then will be flowing into DeFi, which, obviously that becomes bullish for the fundamentals of everything. So I think it's net bullish for sure.
Yeah, like it depends what assets you're talking about. For instance, let's say Solana started getting a lot of legitimate companies, IPOing on Solana. That's good for like Camino and like all the exchanges. It's good for Sol, right? Is it good for like other tokens that are not like related? No, right? And so
They can catch a bid from some stupid narrative. What happens when people lose their shares? Like you can't lose custody of your shares. You can lose custody.
yeah,
you could KYC and like recover them. I'm honestly so like raise your targets. Raise your targets over the next decade. I was reading this. This is insane. Are you ready for this? Okay. Through to be estimated wealth to be inherited through 2048 by generation. 40 trillion from the Gen X's, 46 trillion to the millennials, and 15 trillion to Gen Z. Like, I'm pretty sure people like global allocations to gold are like 0.5%, and it's literally like doubled in the past like 5 years. And it's like Bitcoin, the global allocation of like Bitcoin is probably so small. So like if you actually put all the equity markets on chain, just like naturally they're gonna get more comfortable with, oh, this is good tech, and buy like blockchain stuff. It's just like, oh my god, raise your targets. Raise your targets long term. Just don't get liquidated.
I don't know. I'm more on the side. I do agree. Like a lot of crypto infra some things will benefit, but I am more on the side of if like real companies start having a really easy path to tokenization and issuing on chain. I think it's more so cannibalizes a lot of the shitcoinery that's going on. Like if
Yeah,
you can buy
sure.
um
Shitcoinery.
and like you'll have a bunch of the real companies.
Yeah, but like we don't want
like
shit.
there's still gonna be the demand for like the gambling, the getting like the 100x.
100%. It's just the universe of deployable cash, which just goes up through the roof, which is what you need. Like the whole reason the meme coin casino gets nuked is like everyone just ran out of money. And that's why there are no more runners. It's like new money.
Everyone got rugged.
Yeah.
The president.
I guess do you think so you think like if people can gamble on like random private companies, it's just not fun and it doesn't like fulfill their gambling itch in the same way as aping a meme coin does. Like if there's imagine there's loads of startups here, you can like listen to the founders or watch pitches or whatever, read documents. It's just a bit too serious and too complicated for most people, and they just want to ape dog with hat or whatever.
I think it tickles a different itch, right? For most people, crypto, like people in crypto have the majority of their money in crypto. People outside of crypto don't. And so I think this just helps them get more money into the space, right? Like, sure, they might shift some of their equity portfolio from one to the other, but I think they will maybe take themselves off of 0 or go from 1 to 10. One just being like, like previously mentioned, this gets them comfortable with the tech and how it works. And then 2, it's just money that they weren't going to touch
just getting
with the space.
comfortable with like, oh, this is fucking awesome, right? Versus using the bank, which sucks. But Jose, it's like I think you have to think it's growing the pie a ton versus like replacing.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I think there's also a world where like Robinhood kind of just makes all the money from this stuff, and like if these things get tokenized, like some of the big Web2 companies and exchanges end up making all the money. But I mean, it's definitely bullish crypto as technology. I just think a lot of the shit coins, it just feels more cannibalistic.
Well, the cannibalistic, like the notion is basically that all the crypto money, there's going to be more crypto users that get their money out of crypto and into startups than there will be new money that comes in, right? That's like basically the math.
Yeah, and like I think crypto people are more likely to put their money into startups to recreate like the general risk exposure, betting on innovation that they want, versus startup people aping random crypto shit.
There's just so many people not in crypto that.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's also like, oh, this thing is going to like 3x in a year. Boo. You know, and that's like a best case scenario for crypto. These people have just, and like we're in the same boat. We're just like, oh, this is like a guaranteed, 3-4x in a year or two, and it just doesn't get you excited.
Oh yeah, but like if you literally could do that for like 10 years, you would be a gazillionaire. If you could 2 or 3x your port over like 10 or 20 years,
obviously.
I know, but it's just like, it doesn't get you excited.
That's basically it.
That's the takeaway. We're insanely bullish. Don't get liquidated.
I think more people these days get chopped than liquidated. The choppening has been really bad, like the trench choppening.
People need to zoom out.
I think there's a big overlap there. I think you're much more likely to get chopped when you trade perps too than spot.
100%. That P&L number is treacherous.
I got absolutely blown out on this ETH short I did. I was like, I woke up and like, you know how like the chart from like last night's like loading and it's just like literally like the green candle's off the screen. I'm like, oh. It's just like I like wake up, the old chart's like still there and then it like refreshes and the green candle's literally off the screen. I'm like,
that's not good. Do I still have a position?
All right, do you want to wrap it?
Yeah, let's do it. Good pod, guys. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Yeah. See you, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.